is we always want our webinars to be a conversation, right? So not just a presentation. So while we're going through, we'd love to have you all ask questions, challenge the ideas, and of course keep this chat rolling here. Boom. Also today, we are going to have a giveaway at the end of the webinar, which is going to be for one free general admission ticket to the upcoming amazing Titan Retreat, which is going to be this year down in sunny St. Petersburg, Florida from September 4th through the 5th. It's super easy to get into the giveaway. All you guys have to do is press a 9 or put a 9 inside the chat box. And at the end of the webinar, if you are on live, you will be entered in, and we will make that random selection as who's going to win the incredible free ticket to the Tighten Up Retreat. And yeah, we're getting ready to get rolling here. Give it one more minute or so before we kick it off. See, lots of 9s in there. Excellent. Ooh. Oh yeah. Well, alrighty, but everybody, I think it's about time to get rolling here. I'm Ryan Marsh with Supermove, and I am super excited to guide you all through the conversation today. The 2025 State of Moving and Storage Report has been released, and after surveying moving companies to get real insights into growth strategies, operational struggles, and the road ahead, we brought on the Moving Titans to break it all down for us and give us their hot takes. So we all know the moving industry is facing some pretty big shifts recently, and really over the past couple of years here. And the numbers from the report prove it. But what do these insights actually mean for you? And most importantly, how can you use this data to drive revenue and growth in 2025? So just kind of a high level overview. We're going to cover 5 insights today, and we're going to get responses from all 3 moving titans. So please, again, feel free to dive in, ask questions pertaining to each insight, challenge us, challenge them, and if time permits, I'm super hopeful that we can have a brief Q&A at the end of the session. But kind of a high level overview is 62% of movers stated recently that rising costs were their biggest challenge this year. So we're absolutely going to be talking about that and diving in some things that we can do to assist there. Secondly, more than 50% of movers shared that they're setting goals to increase revenue and profit this year, more or less kind of on the revenue side. Thirdly, fewer companies plan to increase pricing this year over last year. Really excited to dive into that and kind of find out why. And lastly, less than half of movers plan to decrease some costs and also plan to invest more in sales and revenue. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here and let's introduce our panel. So first up, we're going to have Tiam, CEO of Let's Get Moving. If you want to pop on. How's it going, man? Good to see you again. Greatly
Thank you.
appreciate you taking the time. I know you're on a little family vacay here. Internet might be a little bit interesting, but again, man, greatly
Yes.
appreciate you jumping on with this. And let's bring on Wade, CEO of Two College Brothers Moving and Franchising, also Moving Titan Retreat. You're an author, man. The list would go on if I had to keep on naming everything that you're doing. Same with you, team, as well. And lastly, let's bring on Chad, CEO of Master Movers. How's it
What's
going,
up,
gents?
Moving Titans?
How are you? Wade, I love the
Good.
shirt, and honestly, this was not planned, but here we go. Some of the best fitting shirt. Actually, it makes me feel like I'm about 10 pounds lighter here. But no, super excited to jump into this with you guys here. Guys, remember, please jump in the chat. Let's keep this interesting. Let's challenge us. It only makes us all better here. So guys, let's start off with kind of insight number 1. We asked moving company owners what they think the top trends are for 2025. And of course, the answer again, artificial intelligence or AI. I'm sure that doesn't surprise you guys or really anybody that's on this webinar here. But how are you guys using that today? Or how are some things that you're hearing others using AI that has you impressed and wanting to leverage it more? So just kind of random selection here. Wade, if you wouldn't mind kicking this one off for us.
Yeah, I definitely am trying to learn as much as I can about AI right now. I actually just signed up for a college course through University of South Florida. They just announced they're launching an entire school of AI, and it's like the first in the country that's doing it at this level. And they have a free online program for anybody who's interested. I can drop the link in the chat, but as far as like, what to do with it, there's so many different use cases for it. We actually recently just ran a code for Python. We asked AI, hey, can we get a Python code to scrape this public database to get all the realtor home address information so that we can start direct mailing to realtors at their homes to join our referral program. I don't know if that's available in every state, but Florida, they have that database public record, but it's typical government. It's not in very good user friendliness. So we had to basically ask AI for a code to run Python to be able to scrape all that. And you could do that for like almost any code. I know a lot of people are doing coding with AI and stuff like that now. I think you can use it. I mean, I've used it as a search tool. Look at not only just like seeing how we rank when we ask for the best movers in Tampa, but also like what companies are moving in Tampa to look for some commercial opportunities and just things that they're able to scrape the internet when there's press releases sent out. Uploading your systems and processes and your playbooks all into AI so that you can easily reference it or have it summarize something, or if there's like a process that you're trying to visit or your team's trying to visit, they can do that. I mean, the list goes on and on. I know there's capabilities that'll be out soon. We use Supermove Sales AI Copilot, actually. We have all of our scripts in there, and it links up with Ring Central. And when our salespeople are on the phone with a customer, we have battle cards and we have different like things that'll pop up when there's a rebuttal on how to handle the rebuttal, but it also like scores each call based on what the salespeople are saying. And so we can see, are they asking about valuation? Are they asking about how they heard about us? Are they asking, about, trying to roll into the close, do a tentative booking or whatever? I mean, all the different sales tactics that you can employ and you can customize that AI sales copilot. So I think we're not too far away from having actual sales agents on AI. And I'm really excited about that, not having to pay commissions out for bookings when I can have an AI closing deals for me, at least for smaller moves. I don't think it's quite there yet. I know there are AI agents that can set appointments and stuff. I think that's being used in the real estate industry right now, but I don't think it's quite at the level to be able to quote and book moves and close jobs, but it will be. I can just about guarantee that it will be soon. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more. I'm excited to hear what Chad and TM have to say about it, but Stephen Reed kind of got me into it. He just talked on a webinar last week about this, and I remember talking to him at a Moving Titan retreat. How do you use this thing when it was first rolling out? And he's like, honestly, I just ask AI, how do I use you? And you can basically get all the information and take a master's course right then and there, right on Chat GPT. So you've got Chat GPT, you've got Grok 3, you've got Gemini, you've got Claude. There's a bunch of other ones. Those are the large language modules, but I think like different use cases are going to start to emerge for the different platforms on like what you can do. I did a podcast with the former Google Maps head of Google Maps pretty recently. It's my most recent one that came out, and they're using AI to scrape reviews, to scrape pictures about your company to try to help rank in the algorithms. And he seems to think that Google's Gemini is going to be the best for local search capabilities. But they all have different, they're all slightly different and they have their different algorithms. And I'm still learning as much as I can about it because I think it's the future of the internet.
That's awesome. I love the fact about the School of AI. You're definitely going to have to keep me a loop on that one. Be interested to
Yeah,
see what that is. And
I'll find
for
the
the
link.
people listening, put it too in the chat. If you're using AI every day, even if it's on the basic level, it'd be interesting to see how many folks are leveraging AI in their business today. And I'd love to kick it over to you, Chad. And I know you're playing around with some AI, doing some really cool things over at your organization. And yeah, man, love to hear your take on this of how people can leverage it, what you may be leveraging, and potentially where the future of AI is going to assist in your business today.
Yeah, thank you. I think Wade hit some of the topics on the head right there, but some other things that we're dabbling with. There's actually I can't remember if it's Synthesis or Syntra or something like that, but we are creating all of our processes and procedures in video form with a humanoid AI person. And you can actually make it look like yourself and record your own video and have it look like it's coming from you. So, like training all of our new positions instead of just sending this big old Word doc of SOP of how to do everything, this will actually talk you through how to do it. It's more engaging, and then we have quizzes and stuff afterwards to make sure they're retaining the information. So we're doing it for that. We've actually been creating videos for pre-moves to prep our customers on what to expect on move day and to let them know about valuation coverage and how to handle a damage claim and things like that, just to kind of get that burn in our ear. We've seen valuation sales go up because they're more educated when we're calling to sell them on that. Um, and then post move videos as well. Did everything go well? Would you like did you can we collect a 5-star review? And then training, obviously I just said that. Another one that we're looking into big time is your guys' AI voice agent. Because right now we use a call center to answer any missed calls we don't get, sometimes on the weekend or at night, but they only go to a certain time. And I know your guys' voice agent is 24/7, super affordable, and it's pretty darn realistic. And I think with the right spin on that, because you can tell it's AI. Some people are going to be able to know, but with the right spin on it, I think people will just be happy to be making a connection and then getting their information put in, and then we can hit them as soon as possible when the salespeople get to the lead. So I think that's and like Wade said, you need to be a student of AI. Like you need to be dedicating some part of your day, your week, whatever, to learning everything you can about AI. It is the future. I'm the weirdo that wakes up at 2 a.m. and then I start just going down rabbit holes of things that AI can offer. And ChatGPT, I keep that thing attached to my hip. I mean, it literally knows everything about me. Make sure you get a paid version where it can learn about you and your business and everything like that. I mean, it's literally a piece of me, and there's not a day that goes by that I don't use it, whether it's for business or personal.
No, awesome. And I love the point you made about kind of the AI. And thanks for the plug on the voice agent, by the way. That wasn't planned here. But, I think with that is, between credit card companies that we call, we're already talking to bots, as we'll say. You can clearly pick up, at least in my opinion, when you're talking to a human, although there's been times I have been confused. But to me, it's more or less kind of the transparency of, hey, you've reached Chad's AI voice assistant, or kind of setting that tone with the
Yeah.
customer because, hey, at the end of the day, they're calling you after hours. They know. But our consumer is so used to grabbing their phone and booking any type of service on the spot, regardless of what time it is. Probably a little bit more difficult on the moving side, but me personally, I feel that's where this industry is potentially heading. So being transparent with if you are using any type of bot or something to gather information, schedule calls, even potentially be quoting things out in the future, just letting that customer know that's calling in that, hey, yes, I'm not a real person, but I can gather as much information and I can still service you along the way. So appreciate that, Chad, and all the
Yep.
insights. TM, any thoughts here, my man?
Yes, yes, sir. I would say there's a couple of ways that I look at AI and automation. Number one is that I want to I want to build a call center with AI where the agents are actually only speaking to people. I don't look at it that, AI to be replacing the agents right now. I don't think we're there. I don't think the public is ready. And we pay too much for our leads, at least, where, we pay Google ads and so on. So we have a lot of cost for these leads. So I don't really feel comfortable in AI dealing with them right away. So the way we look at it are two different things. We're working with Supermove to try to come up with some sort of auto dialer where the agents are actually, what I hate is the agents having to make a call and not knowing if they're going to get a hold of somebody or if they're going to leave a voicemail. So they're in this limbo of like, am I ready to be energized or am I ready to, leave a pretty boring voicemail? And I want the agents to be in a state of every time they talk, they're talking to people. So I want the voicemails to be automated and the system to be calling and calling, and the agents are just on cue waiting to be connected. And if there is a voicemail to be left, leave the first voicemail's follow up, leave the second voicemail follow up. That agent should only say the voicemail once, and the system just says it every time moving forward. And the agent should just be busy on the phones. That's the main biggest thing I'm working towards right now, so that I can make sure the agents are specifically talking to people and having that mindset of always being energized. So that's the number one most important thing, I think. The auto dialer is really important. It'll do the work for us. The agent's attitude is going to completely change, and that's just going to change the call center overall. So that's the number one way I look at AI and automation. The second way is that right now it's not really ready again to like replace people. And the way you should look at it is not to go out there and find the shiniest AI program and try to bring it into your system. We need to find out what we need in our business and what can be automated in our different departments, different processes. That's where we need to look at first for automation. What can be automated first? Then let's look at platforms and programs out there. So I've actually hired a person. They started like 3 days ago, and they're very experienced in cybersecurity and AI. So they're coming in, and their work is to go sit down with every department, every process, and figure out what can be automated and what can be, used that way, so that we can spend less time doing that and having more time with actual work and dealing with real people. So that's the two important ways that we look at it. But right now we're using Gemini for Google Ads and SEO advice. That's really helpful. ChatGPT to come up with all the headlines and workflow automation, copywriting, things like that. And we also, one thing that I really recommend every business owner to use out there is meta reporting. I strongly recommend you connect your whatever CRM you use. You can simply extract all the jobs and input it in there, and it will give you like 150 different data that you won't even know what to do with, and you'll get real clarity on your business and your numbers. It gives you really cool data. Like, we figure out where these leads are coming from. They're like pinpointed in the map, what days they're coming in, which days are they're actually booking or they're not booking. It gives you crazy data you don't even know what to do with, like wage percentages and so on. So I highly recommend Meta Report. That will give you really clear insight on your company and everything that's happening. And obviously we use Copilot, just like Wade. We have like these battle cards, then the agents kind of know what they need to say and if they're being said or not. It really creates it makes it really easy for our sales managers and quality assurance to go through these calls, and it kind of separates by agent. So you don't have to go search calls by calls. You can just go into a specific agent and you'll see all the problems in their calls, and you can kind of go to that section and use that when we're doing the one-on-one training in the sales department. Change the way we train and the way we gather info. It's definitely cut a lot of time for us.
Awesome, man.
But yeah,
I love
don't go
what
out there looking for shiny tools. Look internal.
Don't chase shiny tools. I love that. And actually, what you started with will kind of boost us into the next piece. Is what I love that you said is you don't want your reps and agents wasting time dialing out only to get voicemails. Dialing. So have some type of agent to, hey, when that customer picks up or that potential prospect picks up the phone, now your agents are right there on deck, ready to grab the bat, ready to go ahead and hit that home run. So with that
Okay.
being said, we're going to dive into some rising costs, right? So when we did this industry storage report, moving companies find that rising costs, as in fuel, labor, insurance, and I'm sure the list goes on, to be one of the biggest challenges. So how should movers best deal with this in the long run, besides just cutting costs today? Because as you guys all know, we can only cut costs so much before you start cutting into the customer experience, having to get rid of staff and things like that. So I'll kick this one over to you, Chad. How do you guys leverage costs when everything continues to climb? And what's kind of long run, or the long run plan with everything continuing to rise?
Yeah, I think it's a simple answer. We all need to raise our freaking prices and know what we're
Let's
worth.
go. That's right.
The moving industry sucked for me at the beginning because I was way too cheap. I wasn't making any money. And God forbid if my guys have a damage claim, I'm freaking screwed. So, knowing what you're worth, and then, you can't just deliver the price and say, you should go with me. You have to have a good sales process and good salespeople that can deliver that with confidence and build the value. You can't charge the most if you don't have that, if you're just delivering the price. And you got to be able to back it up. You have to have trained movers that are going to go in there and knock their socks off. I mean, you have to really focus on getting that repeat referral business, because they will trust you, they won't shop you, and they will book 60 to 80% of the time, as opposed to somebody who doesn't know you. So definitely know your numbers, know your margins, know know what you need to be charging. Because I mean, I didn't know this at the beginning, and I wasn't making money. And I was getting jobs. I had revenue, but I wasn't making the profit. So I'm in this to make profit. I want to be the highest priced guy in the neighborhood, and I have the reputation to back it up. So what I would say, what we're doing is we are hitting the business development hard, which is something I neglected for so long in my career. We're in 3 different BNIs. We're hosting events for realtors. I mean, we have like we're renting out rooms in restaurants and having 3 different real estate brokerages come in and just get to greet and meet us. We're giving stuff away to them for free because as moving company owners, we can't really help realtors. By the time we get to their client, like we can't send them business. By the time we get to their client, they're already done with them. So what can you figure out what you can do for the realtor? So for us, we give them free boxes for their clients. We give them $200 off their move. We give them VIP cruise. We do a free, we actually have one going on right now, a free donation and disposal pickup for a realtor to host in a neighborhood that they're trying to dominate. So we actually have 102 homes that we're going into today with realtors in a neighborhood in my backyard here. And we go around and pick up 1 to 2 pieces of trash. We collect 5-star reviews, at least 1 or 2 per customer. And we're building that relationship with the realtor. We're dropping off coupons for the people in the neighborhood, spreading the word. We're doing something nice for the community. We're giving that reciprocity, and it's going to come back to us. I mean, just even if it's building the bond with the realtor alone to get, their business forever, there's nobody else doing that. And then something else we do that I know a lot of people do is, we do spotlight newsletters for realtors where we'll showcase them a couple of their listings, and we'll send it to our 15,000 past customers, just to give them more exposure. So no, make yourself valuable to the realtor, and just always be looking to build those relationships and those referral partners, because that business is going to book at the highest clip. They're not going to shop you, and it's going to create more and more business for you.
Awesome. Looks like Greg Harrington here. We raised our prices last year. It actually got us better customers. No more $400 apartment moves. Amen to that. A lot more 4,000 square foot mansions. So I'm with you 100% on that one, Greg. And what you said, Chad, we're going to tie into the next segment because I think it's going to be an interesting segment here. But kick it over to you, Wade. How are we dealing with costs, rising costs? What are we doing in the long run for the health of the organization here?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, inflation has been a big factor in every business lately, but I'm really big on trying to find partnerships and co-ops with other businesses and vendors. So if you can get a couple different local businesses, not even, other moving companies, but like, say you got a buddy in lawn care, maybe you're in a BNI group with a few different companies, and you go to a marketing source or a supplier that you all have in common and say, hey, we'll bring you, $20,000 a month in business for, these 5 or 10 different businesses. You can a lot of times get special treatment and volume pricing, and sometimes you can even get that service or marketing for free because you're the one organizing the deal and bringing this packaged up business over to the salesperson. We're getting ready to do that with some TV advertising, and there's a lot of really cool streaming marketing services now where you can get into people's homes based on their IP address and their online search behavior. Just like how on Facebook, when you're scrolling, or Instagram, you see ads tailored to you. That's now starting to happen with TV and streaming services because people are cutting the cable cord
Wow.
and they're getting ABC on demand or Peacock or whatever, and they're paying the $10 a month instead of the $20 a month, and there's a few commercials in there. Well, now those commercials are targeted based off of your online activity, and that's a product being offered by a lot of the TV broadcast stations because the TV stations know that their product's dying. Same thing with radio, and then they're able to do that now with podcasts on radio. And so they realize that small businesses, it's not as effective as it used to be. And in order for them to keep up with the times, they have to start offering some of those more customized, tailored services that are targeted towards audiences. So a little bit of a tangent on that. But what I was trying to get at is, if you don't have $5,000 a month to, at the minimum, to spend on TV commercials and doing all that stuff, and that's really kind of what you need to be doing to get any kind of results off that mass media stuff. Partner up with 6 different businesses, have them each pay whatever they can afford, bring a $20,000 package to the sales rep and just say, hey, I just brought you all this business. Can you give them some extra inventory spots or some extra, perks, and then just cover our marketing for me bringing you all this business? It's called a co-op, and you can do that with all kinds of different things. You can do that with suppliers. You can do that with marketing companies. You can do that with all kinds of vendors. And if you can create, like what Chad was saying, some kind of a networking event where you're bringing 100 realtors together, we're doing a hometown Titan retreat in April where we're bringing together a bunch of realtors and home services, and we're getting like all these different vendors exposure to get in front of this room of what their target market is, and they'll usually let us use their services at a discounted rate or sometimes even for free because we're giving them that exposure. We're doing a sponsorship trade. We're doing a purchasing co-op. And it's a way that you can leverage your influence in the community to bring your costs down on those same products and services. And you're helping all of these other businesses get volume pricing and save money. So they're going to want to pass business to you because you're saving them a bunch of money. So it just takes getting creative and forming those business community partnerships, and leveraging different ways creatively to save money on the cost of things that are starting to inflate and have been inflating, because I don't see inflation really slowing down too much anytime soon. Now we have the tariffs and stuff. Regardless of your opinion, maybe that'll help us in the long term, but it's probably going to make some costs go up sooner rather than later, and ultimately hopefully it brings things down in the future. But that's my advice for just trying to save money and cut down on expenses, is just help market other businesses, help other businesses grow, form co-ops, form partnerships, give them exposure, give them sponsorship or trade opportunities, trade your services for different things, and you can cut a lot of those costs that are otherwise rising.
But I don't have a bag big enough for all the gold you just gave me here, Wade, and gave the audience here. So appreciate that. But we've got a ton, just for the audience listening, we have a ton of questions popping in between the chat as well as the Q&A. And what we'll do is at the end, because I definitely want to cover these last couple segments here, we'll definitely have at least a 10 to 15 minute Q&A session to try to get as many questions answered. However, if we can't get to all the questions, because there is a ton, I'll work with these guys on getting answers to those questions and then emailing out to you all along with the recording here. But Tiem, any words before we jump to the next topic on rising costs and how you plan to tackle this in the long run?
Yes, sir. Sorry, the last 20 seconds for me completely got cut off. My internet's a little choppy here, so if anything happens, I'm sorry, it's not me, it's the internet. But let's get into it. Definitely what Chad said. Number one, raise prices. We should all be raising prices instead of competing to go down and devalue our service and try to cut costs and try to find ways to, provide cheaper and lower quality service. We should all just be providing our A game and charging that. That should be our number one goal. And obviously the long run for me, what has really changed my business last year has been SEO has finally kicked in after like 4 to 5 years of really going hard at it. I'm in pretty competitive cities. And when you gain that spot, it changes everything for you. Like if you check like movers in Vancouver, I pretty much have like the first spot everywhere. And that has completely changed my business. I needed to get like 4 trucks in middle of winter in Vancouver. So I would say long-term investment in your company and your brand, build authority online. That will completely change everything for you. That way you don't have to pay as much for leads and you will be able to just make a lot more money. Invest SEO, that would be number one, and make the best of what you got. So sales would be really important. Create sales processes, follow-ups, drip campaigns, and definitely do A/B testing with marketing. Make sure that you're getting the right leads and do the best you can with your sales. So track them properly and make sure that you know why these leads are lost. Get to those, get to the ones that are lost, get to the ones that are bad leads, find out why they're lost, find out why they're bad leads. That way you can really fix your investment and get the right leads. One other thing that we do very religiously is smarter pricing. So that's what we call it. But it's daily changer pricing. Every single day, I have a guy who goes in there. I have 10 corporate locations right now, and I do this with the franchisees as well. We go into the the calendar and we see which days are being booked up, and we compare it to how many trucks we have, and we change those prices daily. And if you look at Meta report, you'll see those leads. Do we have, for those dates, do we have a lot of leads that are available? So we look at those two metrics, and it allows us to raise our prices, knowing how many leads we have that day, knowing how many trucks we have that day, and that allows, and also how much time is left to that day. That has completely changed our business. Every single day we go in there and we're changing prices for each and every other day. And that allows us to maximize on our few last trucks of that location. That has completely changed our business. I strongly recommend that. We create a pricing calendar daily, and we know which day has more bookings and how many trucks are available. So we just change it, and the sales agents are checking that calendar to book pricing.
Yeah, love the
And
comparison. Sorry, man, go
so
ahead.
yeah, I was just gonna add one last thing. Add more services like storage, junk removal, unpacking, packing services. Do the best you can with your leads and offer more services so that you can make more revenue with what you've already got.
Awesome. And this kind of ties right into Jutta Stevens asked a question in the chat, but just a quick kind of yes or no from the three of you guys here. Jutta says, Tim, Wade, Chad, are your companies regulated for pricing by your state laws for household good movings? I know in New York we were, but there were some workarounds with that capacity-based piece. But a quick, Tim, Wade, Chad, are you guys regulated?
Yeah, we have a location in New York, so we got to go through audits and get approvals and so on. And New Jersey, same thing.
We live in the free state of Florida where they let the market dictate prices. So not
Wild, wild
really. I
south.
mean, we do have a license. We have to get a license, but that's more just having the right insurance and stuff. Yeah, I mean, not statewide. I mean, we have to give our tariff to the FMCSA like anybody else, but that's pretty much where it stops.
In Wade's backyard, so same.
This next one here, insight here, is very interesting. All three of you were basically like high five to raising prices, but here's the interesting thing. So in the report, the results show that there will be fewer price hikes this year by moving companies. So to set the stage on this one, in 2024, there was more than 40% of movers raised their prices. But this year,
Go ahead, sorry.
yeah, so 42% of movers raised prices last year, right? But this year, only 29% of movers plan to do it. So why do you all think this is? Is it because of potentially declining consumer spending and rising debts? Or what do you guys think it is? Why were companies last year raising prices, but this year kind of a little bit hesitant?
Fear and stupidity. I think what happens is they're not looking at the right things. They're not looking at their booking percentages by referral source. They're looking at the fact that their calendars are empty, and so they
Yes.
drop their prices. I mean, they might still have a 45-50% closing rate. It might be even higher for on-site estimates and referral and repeat business. But they're like, oh my gosh, we only have, one job on the calendar every day this week instead of four that we used to have, and we have trucks sitting. We better lower prices, but guess what? You're just shooting yourself in the foot and digging yourself an even deeper hole. You should only
Exactly.
lower prices if your booking percentage is dropping and the rest of your sales process is absolutely dialed. If your sales process isn't dialed, that's a sales process problem, not a price problem. If you're not getting a lot of leads, but you're closing the ones you get, that's a marketing problem. So it's really important to distinguish the differences there. And I recommend pricing based off of referral source because we just talked about referral leads are going to book, 60 to 80% or more. Why would you give somebody a discount because they're being referred to you? Just because like you feel bad for the realtor? Like, I mean, that they're booking at 80%. Like if it's a repeat customer, they're also probably booking at 80%. Like if you notice, typically anytime you have you pay on a monthly basis for a subscription, prices don't go down once you're already subscribed. They only tend to tick up. And you should be doing that with your storage clients too. The longer they stay in, have a escalating storage price that increases. But if your Angie leads are booking at 10% and your referral business is booking at 80%, don't lower everything. And maybe you lower the Angie leads because you're up against a lot more competition that's lowballing prices if you even want to do that. But yeah, don't lower your stuff that's booking at a high percent. And if your company average is high, then that's not a pricing problem. That's a lead problem. And the only way you're going to be able to get more leads is by spending more on marketing and more on leads. And the only way to do that is to charge accordingly so that you can build in that marketing expense into your pricing. So, that's my advice on it.
Awesome. Let's see. How about you, Chad?
To think that everybody got a good kick in the teeth last year. And, coming off of 2023, I know that was an amazing year for us. And then 2024, we're like, what the heck happened? People weren't moving, interest rates are high, everybody is, just tight with their money. So you had to have a really good sales process in there. And for us, I think I've already said this, but we weren't doing a lot of business development. So we had to hit the ground running hard with that. I mean, home shows, BNI, realtor events, and really just be a part of the community. Because I wish I would have done that a long time ago because that doesn't die. I mean, I guess if you neglect it, it will, but that will stay strong through tough times and carry you through. So I just think people are, some people didn't make it last year, and I think it was a tough year, but I think I mean, as far as we're looking great this year. I mean, we're breaking records so far, so we're very hopeful. I think there's a lot of pent up buyer seller
Yes.
aggression that it's a kink in a hose that's gonna freaking bust open and we're gonna make money. But I also am treading lightly. I'm very guilty of overspending on my marketing budget and not tracking it as close as I should. And that kind of I wasted a lot of money last year doing that. So I'm sticking strong. I'm really monitoring all my KPIs and making sure that every dollar spent is a smart dollar and just I'm going big for profit this year. So
And TM, I know when I was bringing this point up, I saw the face, I saw the you're ready to explode,
Sorry.
my man. So I don't want to say movers are scared to increase prices, but what's your thoughts on this one? Last year, everybody's ramping. This year, everyone's like, ooh. So what's your hot take here?
I mean, first of all, obviously we know like after COVID and the interest and everything really messed up everybody's like plans for real estate, and everybody's just holding on to their money. Everybody's just waiting for deals. And as Chad said, I think there's a lot of pent up demand. So we shouldn't be fearing what happened last year. We should know that there is just a lot more coming this year, and we should in fact be raising our prices. And I'm not sure when you ask the movers those questions, but obviously right now in 2025 we've just been going through the slow season and the winter season. So I think down the line when we get to like June, July, August, movers will feel the pent up demand that we think is there, and they will see the demand, and they will hopefully increase prices when it comes to June, July, August. And obviously, right now, people are a little bit hesitant because we're all going through slow months and everybody's just kind of dealing with their fears of should we raise or should we not raise the prices. But I think that summertime it's going to go up. Right now, we're just dealing with it, and interest rates are looking better. And there's just a lot of pent up demand. I think we should be ready to raise our prices. We should not be holding back. Overall, we should not be holding back, not just because of what's been going on with COVID and post COVID, but I think we should always be aiming to raise our prices every year all together.
Awesome. So on the sales side, I'm gonna breeze over this one here quick. Not gonna ask you guys for your feedback right away because I think a lot of the questions that we're getting, I definitely want to get in that Q&A, but and I also want to dive in kind of the word of the mouth marketing, which is our last segment before we do kick over to the Q&A. But the fourth point here was on the sales side. Another big trend that we saw in 2024 was only 25 or 26% of movers invested more in sales. Now in 2025, almost half, right? Like 43, I think it was just over 43% plan to invest more in sales this year. So again, I know we've got some questions here, but just kind of a little thought or nugget as we move forward. But what I do want to dive into quickly here is word of mouth marketing came in super strong, right? Taking position number one for lead quality, which of course, right? Word of mouth is going to be some of your best pieces, but on average, movers invest in 6 different marketing channels across SEO, email marketing, and direct mailers. So the question is, are are there channels or tactics that you guys intentionally do to drive more word of mouth? Like, what are you guys doing to make sure your customers talk about you, put their hands up, scream about you, and refer you guys? And I know you guys do it extremely well, but what are some tactical things that folks listening can do right away to help increase that word of mouth marketing as well as referrals? And then we'll dive into the Q&A.
Yeah.
I mean,
Go
sorry, go
for
ahead,
it.
Ray.
Okay. Yeah, so I found a couple different cool things. Shout out to Amber Hallman who turned me on to this, but Facebook marketing on your inside the local community groups can be very, very powerful. And building like a power team with your friends, your team, your, other businesses that you network with locally, to join all of the different local Facebook groups. And anytime somebody searches for a moving related keyword, it could be movers, moving company, boxes, search those in each of those keywords, in each of those groups each day. You can search specific groups for keywords, and you'll train the algorithm to start populating those things at the top of your feed when people start asking for recommendations. And then take a screenshot, send it to your team or your power team or your network, to all go in there and start piling on to recommend your company. Because a lot of times those groups will get 70 comments really quickly. But if your name keeps popping up, they're going to be a lot more likely to book with you. And there's actually a Chrome extension you can download called Devi, and it scans all of the groups. And whenever one of those keywords comes up, it sends you an email that somebody's making a post in one of those groups. And you can basically like stay front of mind. You don't have to be sitting on Facebook all day to see that. You can get an email or a text message whenever one of those keywords is posted about in your local community groups, and then you can basically screenshot it, send it to the group text of that power team to go in and recommend you, to get that word of mouth business through there. And she said she generated over $400,000 last year just from Facebook groups. And she's got an awesome program and team up there doing it. So we've started to do that. We've got group texts with our team, and anytime any of us see something on there, we just go in there and pile on. We try to monitor it. We train the algorithm by searching and commenting on those keywords to pop up at our top of our news feed. Even if they're older posts, we'll still comment in case somebody else is searching those posts. And then Devi's just a cool little Chrome extension. I think it's like $50 a month to have that, but it monitors all the groups that you're a part of. So it's one way to get a lot of that word of mouth going.
And TM, I saw you ready to chime in there, man. I know you're doing some amazing things, but any thoughts? Word of mouth marketing, what's working for you? What are some cool tactics before we jump into Q&A?
Thank you. Yeah, I think word of mouth is obviously the best because they just don't even think. They call and they book. It's the best way to get a lead. So I think the best way to really kick that off would be to have a referral program. Actually have a referral program so that you can really incentivize people to think about you all the time. And every time the word moving comes, you should be the first company that comes to their mind. We started with Snowball recently. They are pretty good. They've streamlined everything for us to give a bonus to the person who is giving the referral and also to the client. Number two is drip campaign. We've got an amazing drip campaign that contacts people after their move is done so that we're re-engaging with them. We're offering them coupons, and every month we're emailing them newsletters so that we stay on top of their mind. And as well as usually renters are moving every 12 months. So we start hitting them at 10 months, 11 months, 12 months, and reminding them of that coupon and reminding them of us and so on. So that kind of helps a lot. We see a lot of good click-through rate with that. And after every job, we do feedback calls. We want to know exactly what happened on every job. And we keep a really good chart of like every mover, who they are, what they do, how many jobs they've been on, how many claims, and so on. So that's how we keep our fleet pretty clean. But that's our opportunity to fix the problem. If we messed up on the job, that's our opportunity to fix the problem with the client, give a refund, or figure out on some way to fix the issue and turn those back into happy clients so that you can get them to refer you and be that company that fixes the issues and stand by their mistake. And I cannot even read my own handwriting. Oh yeah, and also after the feedback calls, the ones that we do have happy clients, we put them into our referral campaign and referral program, and we kind of let them know about that so that they can take advantage of that.
Oh, sorry, this cough I've had this for like 2.5, 3 weeks here. So you guys see me sucking down water and going on mute all the time. I apologize. But Chad, 30 seconds. I know you're doing a ton of things, but anyway, to kind of sum up, if you had to take one hot point to give to the audience, word of mouth
Yeah.
referrals, what are you doing?
This one is gonna blow everyone's mind. Nobody has thought of this one. You need to deliver not just a move, but a moving experience that your customer can feel good about at the end of the day. So how do you do that? You have to have well-trained movers. You have to have an incentive program for them to collect reviews and deliver that five-star experience. From the time they call in, that customer service rep needs to be super happy and educated and knowledgeable and build the value of the company. And then you need to build that extra after they book, you need to solidify that call up. We do a 2 week call ahead. Hey, anything changed? You need packing services, yada yada yada. Then we'll do a 1 week call ahead, and then we'll do a day before call ahead just to solidify that. And then the most important one is the post move call, the one that everybody is super scared of because they don't want to, kick a sleeping dog and find more problems for themselves. So check that one goes the furthest. Check, hey, did everything go as we promised? Are you happy? Because the worst customers are the ones that are not happy and don't say anything to you or don't bring it up because they're going to go spread that without you even knowing it, and you're already shooting yourself in the foot. So I think creating that raving fan experience every move is the best way for you to get word about referrals. And one little thing to add to Wade's Facebook group shout outs collaboration. Another thing you can do is those people that are shouting you out, get a big list of those. What we did is we made a video like, hey guys, thank you so much for recommending us on Facebook. You don't know how much it means to us. I wanted to shoot you a $10 gift card to Starbucks just as a token of my appreciation, or Amazon, whatever you guys want to do. And then send them that out, thank them, and then they're going to be more apt to recommend you more in the future online because that really does help build the, you know, uh, validation of everybody.
Great, guys. This has been awesome. It's 12:49. Obviously, we try to hold to schedule, trying to end at 1. Just from the audience here, if we end up going 1 or 2 minutes over, is that okay with you? I'll put a 1 in the chat if we happen to go over by an extra question or so. We got some 1s here. Excellent. So let's dive into the questions. We'll kind of do like a little hot round here. I'm going to go back to the top, trying not to miss anybody here. But a question from Robert Hollander. How's it going, Robert? Is meta reporting the same as Facebook advertising reporting? Which one of you
No,
guys feel the best answer there?
no, it's a different program. I think it's obviously made by Facebook, Meta, but it's a complete different program. It's called Meta Reporting, as far as I remember. I'm sure you do a little Google search, that'll be the first thing that pops up. You just have to learn it a little
ChatGPT.
bit. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can learn
Awesome.
it quite easily. All you need to do is just import your completed jobs. You can download it from your CRM, import them in there, and it'll give you lots of data. You kind of have to decipher it, and then when it's set up, it will just always give you the same metric.
Good, good. Another question here. No name, but Titans. Which marketing channel, aside from word of mouth, has brought in the best leads for you? And what are you doing to make it work so well?
Google Ads. Google Ads
Yeah.
is the number one. I open a location, that's the first thing I go towards. Every time we open a location, we try about 5 different platforms, and we go about 3 to 4 months of testing everything, seeing what works. We want to fail fast and then see what's winning and put more money into that. Every market is different, to be honest. Every state, every city is responding differently to different platforms. So that's why we say you have to test everything and see what works in your city. But number one is always Google. You advertise, you optimize that properly. After a couple of weeks, you should be getting high quality leads.
Yeah, I mean, investing in a good SEO company is good, but it just takes a long time and a lot of money to get there if you're just starting out, especially. Like TM said, you got to try different things. You got to have a little room in your marketing budget, 3 or 4% of revenue to just go towards testing new stuff. We found a gold mine on a local radio show here in Tampa where the host endorses us every day. And that book's at like 50%, and the average move size is like 3 grand. And we get leads almost every day from it. And radio's never worked for me before, like live broadcast radio. I know there's now some targeting stuff available with podcasts that a lot of radio stations are offering, just like the TV stations are, that I'm looking forward to trying out. But Just gotta test things. I mean, I would have never thought that would have worked. I just had a feeling about it. We threw some money at it. It took a few months to get that traction, but it's been a great referral source. Generates probably about $500,000 a year for us. Yeah, just test, track, and tweak.
Amazing. Good job, man. That's a good one.
Yeah, love it. Question from Mark Roth. What's your percentage of repeat business? I think we can go around the room with this one pretty quickly.
Think about 25 to 30% right now.
Wow.
Yeah, like the total percent of overall business, that's a good question. I know it books at a very high rate. Off the top of my head, I'll have to look at my marketing ROI.
Yeah, I would say
Like
about
if we get about
30% for us.
1,000, yeah, if we get 1,000 job, it's about like 25 to, sorry, 250 to 300 are repeat clientele.
Yeah, our top referral sources so far this month are affiliate, so basically word of mouth. The radio show I just mentioned, postcards, repeat business, Google, and then we have another category for word of mouth. So I just combine that with affiliate. But those are our top sources this month.
Awesome. I'm just answering a couple questions here. Let's see, what else do we have here? Last chance to submit some questions. I'm scrolling back through the chat here. How do you track movers? Boom. Let's see here. Another question here. Are you gentlemen all independent movers or associated with the van line? This is a super easy question. I think we can all answer here.
I don't mess with van
Independent.
lines.
Yeah, no van
We're
lines.
gonna kick them out very soon.
They're a
It sounds like independent
dinosaur.
across the board is what we're looking at.
They're
Bill,
a dinosaur, and they're gonna go the way of the dinosaurs, I think.
Linda, I apologize. I don't want to hack the last name, but I'm going to say Linda K. She asked, could you tell us your average percentage of bookings across all lead types?
Right now, we're booking about 55% of everything we touch. I mean, one source can be lower than another, but when we put it all together, we're about 55% booking percentage with all in one basket.
We're about 60% in person and 40% on the phone.
Yeah, right now, let's see, I'm pulling it up. So overall across everything, we're actually only at 34%, so y'all have me beat. But in person, it's around that 60% mark.
Awesome. Here's a pretty good question here. Anonymous attendee. How do you Titans find the time for these advanced AI workflows and use cases? Do you start open-minded, just playing around with these tools and agents to see what they can do? Or do you start with a specific goal in mind and find a way to make AI do it? Good question, whoever put this out here. I'd love to know who that was.
Yeah, I mean, AI saves time. If you need to do a job posting, just put the bullets that you want in the posting. It'll generate a badass job posting for you. Anything like that. I think just playing with it, just like, if you go on Instagram or Facebook and you waste time doing that stuff, like instead of doing that, download the app I just downloaded where you have to do a push-up for every minute you're on social media and spend that time playing with AI.
That's a good one.
ClearSpace, by the way. That's the name of the app. ClearSpace. If anybody
Let's
wants.
see. Awesome. Let me
I
just
mean,
see here.
yeah, as I mentioned, definitely don't look for shiny tools. Figure out what can be automated in your own business and start there. And after you've automated everything, then try to introduce new tools to your business.
Yeah, but sometimes with AI, you don't know what the heck is out there. So do some research. I'm not looking for shiny things, but it may be the answer to your problem. I'm guilty of just like I said, going down the rabbit hole and seeing what the heck AI can do because it's intriguing.
That's right.
Awesome. I think let me see here. Find another question. There's so many to Paul through. We're gonna have a lot of questions to answer after the fact here. Um, Titans, are there any movers in the industry you would use as examples of those who are killing it with their marketing? Now, obviously, I could say all three of you are killing it, but anybody that besides yourselves, obviously crushing it, anybody that truly stands out to you guys that are killing it in today's world?
I think Piece of Cake is killing it in their own city. I don't know if they can replicate that in other cities, but I think Piece of Cake is doing really good in New York. Otherwise, 2 Minute Truck is killing it. I think they're my competitor because they're in Canada, they're in US, they're in Australia. These are places I want to go. So that's definitely a company that's doing it right. College Hunks is doing it right.
I was really impressed with Grant Kozerts from Eco Movers. He just did a presentation on last week's webinar, and I've never really spoken with him, but I saw his presentation and connected with him afterwards. And he said he booked $1 million in February at a 45% booking rate just in the Seattle area. So I'm like, dang, I want some of that sauce. He seems like he's crushing it up there.
Wow. I think we have time for one more question before we announce the winner of the giveaway. So I'll start randomizing this. That's why if you see my head going here, I'm trying to randomize this, put everybody's name in here. What question shall we ask here? Oh my gosh, there's a ton here. Whoa, clear space. Pro tip. Check in. Where do you find, okay, pro tip, or not pro tip, Atlanta Peach Movers checking in. Where do you find your drivers? We have a hard time finding employable truck drivers. Last question, maybe a quick round robin here, and then we'll wrap it up and announce the giveaway winner here.
Can start. So we have a VA that does our recruiting, and they repost job ads frequently. They monitor all the candidates. They make sure that they reach out to them right away, speed the lead, set the interview up right away, and we get them in the interview. And the interview is a good like sales process that we want to like really get our claws in them and make them feel like this is an amazing opportunity. Plus, we have a lot of perks for working for our company, like health, dental, vision, life, 401k matching. And then we also do smart sourcing. So they'll do outreach and look for people that maybe aren't looking for, like their resumes are on Indeed, but they're not quite looking for a job in the moving industry, and we convince them to come work for us. And then obviously just the easy one is like an employee bonus for any referrals or anybody they bring on after 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, it's a numbers game. We actually just ran some stats on that. I don't know exactly what the time period was, but we had like 218 applicants that we reached out to. Of those, 113 responded. And of the ones, or I guess 100, yeah, I think 113 responded and showed up for an interview. And then of the 113 that showed up for an interview out of 218 or whatever, I think 62 of them actually went through the onboarding phase. So, it's just a numbers game. That might have been for the last 6 months or something, or maybe the last year. I don't know. But yeah, you just gotta just be constantly going through applications. You can use the feature on Indeed to look at resumes of currently employed people, and those tend to be a lot higher quality than the people that respond to a job ad, because a lot of times those people are unemployed for a reason, whereas the resume search feature on Indeed are currently employed people that are open to another job somewhere else. So yeah, we have somebody on our team that goes through those and lines up interviews, and just gotta have a little bit of marketing budget for marketing for employees. Sometimes you can use your marketing for customers to also market to employees. And employees like to work for companies that are well-known companies in the area. So and they want to work for a company they're proud of, that they've heard of, that other people have heard of, and it's important to keep that in mind in your marketing efforts.
No, excellent. TM, any final thoughts?
I don't know exactly what we do for hiring drivers. I'm not too sure, but I do know that we do offer bonuses to our current good employees to bring in anybody they recommend. I know we use Indeed as well. But one thing I do know is that we do not employ people that do not pass the training program. So we've got a 3-hour training program. It's on Trainual. They've got to watch videos and answer questions. If they do not pass that in our corporate location, then we simply just don't employ them. And that's been a good filtration for us.
That's awesome. Well, guys, I can't thank you enough. TM, Wade, Chad, but everyone don't sign off yet, because we are going to go ahead and do the giveaway here. And what we have, it looks like the winner of the free Titan Retreat giveaway is Linda. Ask the question. I still can't say the last name. Kenseth, congratulations to you guys. And I want to thank you all for joining us. Again, TM, Chad, Wade, thank you. And if you guys are looking for the resource links, we've got the Tighten Up Treat link that I can't tell you all enough. It's one of the hottest, most valuable conferences or events that I have ever been to. And as you all know, I'm bombing all over the country, and I've been to just over 40 plus events in the past couple years. I can't say enough about between Wade, Chad, and the entire Titan team are doing for this industry. It's a must-attend conference. I hope to see you all there September 4th and 5th. Anything you'd like to say before we sign off, Wade, on the Tighten Up retreat?
Just it's awesome to come.
It's incredible, man. I
No, we
appreciate
have a
what
lot
you're
of
doing.
fun. We have a lot of fun putting it on, and it's honestly opened up so many opportunities just getting in that room with all the amazing people that come and networking and meeting people all around the country. I mean, I know a mover in virtually every single city in the country that if we have a truck headed that way, we need some unload help, we need, a truck breaks down somewhere, we need a recommendation on where to take it, whatever the case is, like it's so valuable to have that. And then when they come to our area, sometimes we'll get some business out of it when they need some help unloading trucks. And just having that network has been awesome. In fact, somebody recently, we're doing a job today for a restoration company that was referred by a company up in Ohio that knew us through the Titan Retreat stuff. And it's a $30,000 job for a restoration company for a high rise that had a fire, and we're moving all the stuff downstairs for the residents. So that would have never happened if we didn't build the network just from, getting in the room with all these people all around the country that have these contacts.
Yeah, guys, I can't thank you enough. Appreciate the amazing insights. Tim, enjoy your time, and
Thank you.
everybody, let's
That's
make
got
moving great again here, right?
That's got something.
Right. Right.
Let's
Tighten up.
go.
We got to give a Tighten Up training plug. If you want to
That's
create
right.
raving fans, that raving fan experience, look up Tighten Up training. We have a heck of a deal going on right now where you get the first month free and the whole. Well, I don't want to. I don't think we got the whole thing for 197, but it's first month free. Check it out. Tighten Up training. You won't be disappointed. It's all stuff taught by me, Wade, TM, and John Hamilton, and you guys need it.
Yeah, you'll love the content for sure, especially the mover aspect. It's beautiful.
Yeah, to TM's point earlier with the trainual 3 hour onboarding, like we also make our guys go through Tighten Up training to get onboarded. It's like a barrier to entry to kind of weed out the people who aren't serious, and it just sets a great foundation for them. Streamlines that whole automation platform, so you don't have to spend $150,000 like TM did on trainual, getting that all
That's
built.
right.
We already spent
That's
the
right.
money on it.
Exactly.
Don't have to.
That's why I joined Tighten Up after that. I knew. But
All
it's
right,
better
guys.
to train people than pay for claims and damages.
Yeah. And it makes you look legit too.
That's right.
Excellent. Well, hey, appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Thank you all for tuning in, and can't wait to do this again with you guys here in the future. And let's go crush peak season, and we'll see all of you at the Tighten Up retreats, September 4th and 5th,
Yes, sir.
sunny
know.
St. Pete's.
Thank
We'll
you,
see you guys.
everyone. Tighten up.
Thanks so much.